Hello everybody, it's Chris Seeds, Wootini from GayGamer.net, here with another weekly video podcast. And in this episode, I want to start by talking about San Andreas, which actually came out a couple weeks ago, but we only just got around to seeing. There was no rush, really. It was just sort of fun. It's a thoroughly entertaining disaster movie. I kind of wanted to see this on the big screen because it's one of those movies that you know is going to be better on the big screen than when you watch it on Netflix on your TV, no matter how big your TV is. Of course, I would have liked to have seen it in 3D, but my husband hates 3D, so we had to go 2D. It looks like it might have been cool in 3D, but I don't know. Not as much as Mad Max. Mad Max was clearly shot to be really awesome in 3D. So that was frustrating. But San Andreas, I was a little less frustrated. The only thing about San Andreas, it's basically The Rock saves us from an earthquake, except for the fact that The Rock actually plays this guy who's on this, rescue team that his whole job is to go and rescue people. So, of course, when massive earthquakes strike the entire California, coastline, most of the state of California, from LA to San Francisco, he heads off to go and rescue people and do his job, except that on the way there he finds out that his wife is about to die, so he goes rescue her instead. Spoiler alert. And then they go off to rescue their daughter. Spoiler alert. That's the plot of the movie. I just came away from it wondering if perhaps he lost his job because he didn't do his job. And he just abandoned his job and stole that helicopter to go and rescue his own family very selfishly. It was a thoroughly entertaining movie. The dialogue and characterizations are they're just there. And it's an excuse to just have awesome CGI disaster porn. And watching Los Angeles and San Francisco just fall to pieces is awesome. And it's also nice that it's not New York, because New York always gets screwed, and that's upsetting. So it's nice to see they couldn't do an earthquake movie in New York, really, anyway. But it's not realistic. Not that this was realistic, I suppose. But now I know my friends on the West Coast who live out there can enjoy watching their homes be destroyed for a change. My only problem is that it's not like the old school disaster movies where they introduce like a dozen or so characters and they all have their own separate subplots and you just cut in between them as they all try to survive whatever disaster it is. And they introduce enough characters that they can kill like half of them and create all this drama and you don't know who's going to live or die. But in this movie, spoiler alert, there's really only 6 main characters, so they're not going to kill anybody, because they're all main characters that they're not going to kill. And so, halfway through the film, I realized, there's no other characters for them to kill, and they're not going to kill The Rock or his wife or his daughter. I mean, come on. They're the main characters. Unless they wanted to be really, 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 subversive, I suppose. But this is not a subversive movie. Hell, at the end, there's this, rah-rah, America fuck yeah moment that comes out of kind of nowhere. And it was just sort of whoa, what is that? Because it wasn't like the whole rest of the movie was super patriotic or anything. But it's fun, and if you like a good disaster movie with lots of CGI action and things blowing up and falling to pieces, it's fun, and I recommend it. Just shut off your brain, because otherwise you'll be in trouble. As for gaming, this week continues to be all about Splatoon. And it will be all about Splatoon for at least another couple of weeks until Batman comes out. Then it'll be all Batman all the time. But right now, I'm still playing Splatoon, and I'm still hopelessly obsessed with the multiplayer, and I'm not playing single player at all, which I know I should. But I just love just playing a couple of multiplayer rounds, and then, just having some fun. Sometimes I'll play, a lot, but it's nice to know that I can come in, I can play, 2 or 3 multiplayer rounds, and then go make dinner or something, and it's okay. There were a couple new weapons and a new stage. I haven't seen the new stage yet because it's never shown up while I was playing. I tried the zapper, did not care for it. It's very rapid fire, but it doesn't cover enough ground for me. And then they just released the ink brush, which I thought would be cool, but it's actually really weak, and I couldn't, like, when you try to hit people with it, it doesn't really hurt them that much, and they kind of kicked my ass. And when you run with it, it only covers a thin strip. So I think I'm kind of sticking with the roller, because I do love the paint roller, because I'm all about, like, running around and painting, and that really covers the most ground. So, I don't know, I might try some other guns, but I really think the roller is, like, the weapon for me. But it remains super fun, even when you get frustrated that your the internet connection is unstable. And the problem is like when it says, you know, that the connection is unstable, and then it quits you back out to the menu in the middle of a round, I don't know whose connection was unstable. Was it theirs? Was it someone else? Was it me? Because if it's me, then I'll stop playing and screwing everyone up. And it should really tell you if your connection is the one that's unstable. That way you won't keep playing and screwing everyone else's games up. Because I'll keep trying. And then if it keeps screwing up, I'm like, whoa, maybe it's me. So, yeah, so that's super fun. The other big news this week was everyone on the internets went all crazy for the release of Fallout 4. There was a trailer for Fallout 4, and everyone got all excited for that, and I watched it. It was a nice little trailer, but I don't think I'm excited for Fallout 4 simply because I never did finish Fallout 3. I got Fallout 3 because it's Bethesda, open world, first person, and I'm like, great, so it's a sci-fi Elder Scrolls. You know, it's like the Elder Scrolls, but it's a sci-fi thing, and it's a shooter, and that'll be fun. But it's not to me. I just couldn't get into it. I just found myself not wanting to play it. This is very hard to explain. Like with something like an Elder Scrolls game, I want to explore. It's a beautiful, elaborate fantasy world. You know, like Dragon Age Inquisition. I could not get enough of running around and exploring every nook and cranny and seeing all the beauty that there was. There's no beauty in a Fallout game. Those games are ugly. I mean, on purpose. I mean, this is what it's supposed to be. It's post-apocalyptic. Everything is grim and gritty and dirty and falling apart and gross-looking, and there's mutants, and it's all kind of nasty. And I know that it is done with humor, you know, and there's, like, satirical humor in it and stuff, but I just found the world so ugly that I didn't really want to go back and explore it. But that's just me. I mean, there was nothing inherently wrong with the game. Sorry, I'm trying not to sneeze. There's nothing inherently wrong with the game. The gameplay was fine. The graphics were terrific. I just didn't want to keep going back there. So I'm not super excited for Fallout 4. Sue me. I am mildly excited by this Dragon Quest VIII remake that they're doing for the 3DS. Dragon Quest VIII remains one of my favorite all-time RPGs. I devoured that on my PlayStation 2. It was so good. I loved it. The art direction, the graphics, the gameplay, everything about it. I loved every minute of that game. So, hearing that they're doing a remake with some new content for the 3DS, I was like, ooh. Then it's like, oh, but it's for Japan. Will they release it here? Who knows? Probably not. It might not sell enough. Although right now I feel like there's not a lot of big 3DS releases, and they could do it, and it would. Because I would buy it because there's nothing else that I'm playing on my 3DS right now other than Animal Crossing and the occasional Pokemon Shuffle round. So, with a dearth of big 3DS games, they could put out Dragon Quest VIII, and maybe it would sell better than they would expect. I don't know. But then there's also the part of me that's like, do I really need to play this game again? Because I've already played it. Do I need to play it again? Probably not. I should probably play something new. Except for the fact that there isn't anything new on the 3DS that I want to play right now, so if you give me that option, I'd probably go for it anyway. And I'd just play the game again. Because also, it was on the PlayStation 2, so that was like, whatever, like, 15 years ago, like, who even remembers? And my memory is like a sieve anyway, so I could play it again, it would be like for the very first time. I wouldn't remember anything of this game. So that's it for now. Come back next week, and it'll be my preparation for E3. That's coming up soon. So next week I'm going to talk a little bit about what I would like to see at E3. I'll also have a report from FlameCon, which is the first LGBT Comic-Con, with an assist from GamerX, that's being held in Brooklyn on the 13th of June. And I'm very excited. I'll have a full report from there. And so I'll see you next week for that fun. Bye!